Day 35 of the 40-Day Soul Fast by Dr. Cindy Trims. Today's chapter focuses on the power of willing and morality. In here, she shares a compelling story about a horse who everyone would look down on because he was undersized and he did not look like the kind of horse that would win races, and he just did not look the part, right? But then one day, the owner of this horse decided to sell him off. A wise handler bought this horse and then cultivates the inner strength in that horse, and the horse then goes on to become one of the best money makers, winning races. And then she said something here that was stated by the Saturday Evening, saying, it said, he came from nothing on his own courage and will to win. There was will on the buyer and there was will on the horse as well. You know, I feel a lot of the times we underestimate how much animals can actually sense human energy as well. I genuinely feel like the reason why that horse probably was in that state, because number one, the previous owner did not actually recognize the value that was in the horse. And I don't just feel like that failure was about that horse himself, but really about the person who previously owned him. Because what's the difference between the person who now bought the horse and the horse is now making money, is now winning races? I think the previous owner, I believe, did not even have the will, to be very honest, because if he had the will, then he could have, I believe that he could have done the same thing that this new owner had. And as the book goes on to say here, you know, the horse had the will to win. It did have the will to win, but that's because there was a wise handler that was able to have that will and patience to want to invest in that horse to bring him to that state that he was now performing at. She says here, being willing is about opening yourself up to whatever God has in store for you. It means to run headlong into your destiny, totally abandoned to something that you can't see with natural eyes. So you must trust in the one who can get you there. That's the key found in Jesus's personal mission. She says, morality simply means virtuous conduct, behavior or qualities that are judged to be good based on a set of principles concerning the distinction between right and wrong or good and bad behavior. It's doing things God's way. And she says that when we live this way, that God brings gifts into our lives, much the same way that the fruit appears in an orchard. Things like affection for others, exuberance about life, and serenity. I want that. And then she says that it is obvious what kind of life develops out of trying to get your own way all the time. A stinking accumulation of mental and emotional garbage, frenzied and joyless grabs for happiness, paranoid loneliness, cutthroat competition, all-consuming yet never satisfied wants, a brutal temper, an impotence to love or to be loved, divided homes and divided lives, small-minded and lopsided pursuits, the vicious habit of depersonalizing everyone into a rival, uncontrolled and uncontrollable addictions. This is the life that we get when we don't live God's way. And honestly, can we truly not compare this to what we're seeing in the world today? Like when we look at the world around us, right? This is what we're seeing. We're seeing people going through loneliness. We're seeing people always calling this person, that person their hater, or this person, you know, jealous. Like when you go on TikTok, you're seeing signs that this person is jealous of you. Like every friend is not jealous of you. Every friend does not have bad intentions towards you. It says here, learning to harness the power of holiness by doing things God's way, by developing strong moral character, will bring you true success and freedom. She shares a quote saying, I never did or countenanced in public life a single act inconsistent with the strictest good faith, having never believed there was one code of morality for a public and another for a private man, by Thomas Jefferson. I think this is actually a good, you know, last quote to share, because I think what that quote was actually saying is that, you know, to be who you are on the inside and outside, not to, you know, try to say you're holy on the outside and then on the inside in your personal life, in what you're doing in the dark is very different from what you're portraying outside. And I feel like that's what this quote was just trying to encourage, saying that he never wants to be that person that lives a holy lifestyle on the outside or seem to have a moral lifestyle on the outside, but on the inside he's doing something different. So he's not encouraging you having two different lifestyles, but being who you are on the outside and on the inside. Anyway, thank you so much for tuning in to day 35, and I will see you in day 36.